What's up, wild people? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Alexandria Denise, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my blueberry bushes. Now, they have a little bit of a history behind them, as I didn't actually germinate these. I got them from a local hardware store here in Georgia, but they were actually grown in a nursery in Alabama. So while I'm not exactly sure about what type of blueberries they are, though I do suspect that since we're in the southeast region, it could be anywhere between the rabbit eye, the southern high bush, or the lower high bush, since those typically do well in the southeast region. But when I got these, they were in terrible condition. The leaves were wilted. I couldn't tell what type of berries they were, and it was just flaking at the bark. So I did a different method, which I'll show you in another video, of how I acidified the soil. But today, I'm gonna do a simpler method of acidification. Now, I'm using this brand of soil acidifier because I hear some people, they swear by it. But also, the previous method that I did to acidify the soil, it actually is going to take a lot longer, and I got started a little later. But this one is supposed to help the soil, acidify anywhere between 60 to 120 days, or sometimes 6 months, depending on the plant. But why is acidification important? Well, if you learn anywhere in science class, you learn about the pH scale. This is anything that is from 0 to about 7 is anything alkaline. 7 is pretty neutral, but anything after that and higher is pretty alkaline. Well, certain plants, such as blueberries and strawberries, which I have here, they require an alkaline soil, or not alkaline, but acidic soil in order to do well. They can do well in neutral soil, but the thing about it, they don't exactly reap the benefits, or having acidic soil actually helps them reap more of the nutrients from that soil. So that's why it's important, if you want healthy blueberries, strawberries, or blackberries, to make sure that your pH level in the soil is anywhere between 4 and, well, sometimes 3. 3 is probably pushing it a little too much, but they recommend really a good healthy balance, 4 to 5.5. So in order to help do that, this company here has found a convenient way to put all of the other ingredients that I will do in my next video or a previous video, all of those ingredients, and capsize it into a convenient way to pretty much make that happen. Now, alongside acidifying your soil, you also want to make sure that you're fertilizing it. And fertilization for blueberries, you want to use anything that has that's good for azaleas. Okay, so when it comes to fertilizer, you want to make sure that it is a slow release that feeds anywhere between 3 to 6 months, and you want to make sure that it's in the nitrate form, the nitrogen form of ammonium sulfate or urea, not the nitrogen form of nitrate, if that makes sense. The reason being is because the nitrate form of nitrogen actually stunts the growth or stops the growth of the plant, and it actually kills it. These are like my maybe 5th set of blueberries. I was pretty terrible at it in the past, but I think I kind of got the hang of it, because the last blueberry bush that I owned, it started to yellow and the leaves fell off and died. And I didn't exactly know why until the guy at the store explained to me about the pH level in the soil. So I started doing a little more research about it, and here I am today, seeming pretty happy with the results. But I think that I need to help speed up the process and help my plants last a little longer. Now, why it's also important to know what type of plant you have is because a lot of plants that bear fruit or any type of edibles, they require what they call chill hours. And what chill hours are is just the amount of time that the plant needs to be exposed to the cold before they can bear a full blossom of fruit for the next season. So these either southern high bushes, rabbit eye, or low bushes, they require pretty low chill hours for our region. So it could be anywhere from 3 to 700, so I've seen. Now, we get pretty cold. It got pretty cold here, so I assume we're gonna have pretty good blossom. This one right here is doing pretty well. This one is the one that needs to catch up. But I have already done this one here. Now I'm going to be adding this soil acidifier to this pot. And because it's bearing already, I want to be careful as to not knock off any of the blueberries. Now, blueberry bushes are pretty shallow rooted, so doesn't really take much, but they also require a great amount of moisture. So I'm happy to say that my soil is pretty darn moist. Other than that, I'd have a big problem because blueberry bushes are not drought tolerant. As with a lot of berry bushes, they require a good amount of water, a good amount of moisture in order to bear fruit. So, been on top of that game. Also, the moisture levels in the air pretty helps with that. Now, when it comes to this, they recommend for plants that are just starting out that you use about a pound, or actually 1 cup of the soil acidifier. But for well-established plants like the ones that I have here, you want to use anything that is a pound. So I have actually 1.5 pounds, which is approximately, if my math is right, 2.5 cups. So 1 pound, 8 ounces of this is about 2 pounds, or 2.5 cups of the fertilizer, which is what they recommend for plants that are already established. So I have it pre-measured here in this bag, and all I'm gonna do is just pour it all in there. And obviously I'm gonna mix up the soil. I'm not just gonna dump it and leave it. I want to make sure it gets an even amount in the soil. So that way it can go all from all sides. And talking from previous formula, what I did, I took mulch, pine needles, coffee, yes, coffee, sand, and a couple other ingredients to put in this. So I kind of got the pot started already, but this is to really just help it along even more. So once you get that mixed in there, feel free to go ahead and add that blueberry bush back in there, and then top it off with some mulch. Now what mulch will do is help lock in moisture, and it's with temperature control. So acidification happens when the heat really starts breaking down all of that's in the soil to help acidify it. So the perfect conditions are coming up in the next couple of months here in Georgia, to where it's going to get really hot, really muggy, and it's just the perfect recipe for it. Though I'm also hoping that these are 2 different varieties of blueberry bushes and not the same. The same is okay, but what you want to happen is something called cross-pollination, to where the plants, it's just healthier if they are exchanging genetic information and are cross-pollinating with each other. That a way that they can bear better fruit for the following seasons. And as you learn a little bit more about, like, it's just a way for them to exchange genetics. I need to do the same for my strawberries because they're actually from the same crop. Now strawberries, they don't really need to, but it's actually pretty good that they do. The thing with strawberries is that they're self-cloning plants. So one plant can produce an array of different strawberry plants, or actually the same strawberry plant. So these are actually the offspring of the other strawberries that I had from the previous season. But I also bought another strawberry plant to introduce to that one, and hopefully that whole process took place, because I'm actually getting a lot more strawberries produced than I have in the past seasons when I just had one. So that would be an example of cross-pollination. If you get two different varieties of blueberries, you're going to have probably a lot more blueberries the following season to come. Now these are potted, and the thing with the potted plants is that they're not exactly reaping the benefits they would if they were in the ground. Now when it comes to things that are in the ground, you have things like earthworms and other dead matter that the plant can constantly feed off of. So fertilization, it is important, but I'm doing the whole organic thing this year, so I really don't want to use say the other things that they make these days that really condition the soil. You know, I'm talking about the little pebbles. If I can use organic, I definitely would, because I want to just try it out. And though organic is a little more than just, you know, what type of fertilizer you use, it's really just the method in which you use it or grow the plants. Still, this channel is true nature, and I kind of want to do things, of course, the way nature does. Just mimic it and hope for the best. But I have used some earthworm casings inside of this. Though earthworms, they probably won't do so well in acidic soil, which, by the way, if you're going to have anything with acidic soil, make sure that you separate it from plants that have neutral soil, because it could end up killing those plants that don't do so well in acidic soil. So actually, I have them usually in this bin right here, and underneath the bin I have a plastic bag or a garbage bag I kind of ripped in half a little. That way, you know, when it rains, it's not going to soak so much into the soil or, you know, contaminate anything else that's around. Not that it'll so much kill it, but I mean, I don't have anything growing around it anyway. It's just something to be mindful of, that if you're going to be growing plants that require acidic soil, try to separate them the best you can from plants that require more of a neutral. Just take your precautions there. Alright, so though I kind of already fertilized my blueberry plants, now this comes with a little bit of fertilizer in it, but you want to use it in conjunction to the azalea fertilizer just to help it along. I'm not going to use too much of it because there's already fertilizer in the soil a bit. I'm just going to sprinkle a little more. Here, I'll do that the same with this one. And it doesn't matter if you put it in the soil or on top, because the idea is that when you moisturize it, it's going to seep down below. And that's what you want. Going back, I'm not trying to give too much away from another video that I have planned, but when you're just starting this out, you want to make sure that you put mulch at the bottom as well as at the top, so it kind of sandwiches everything in between and really helps that process along. So I am ready to add my blueberries back. And this pot that I'm using is pretty darn shallow. I would prefer a deeper pot, but anything that's 12 to 18 inches deep will do. Because like I said, blueberries, they don't exactly have that deep of a root system. So they're not quite picky about it, about how shallow it is. As long as you keep the roots covered in some form or degree. Right. Make sure it sits comfortably in there. You can add the rest back around. Spilling out. And there we have it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, they say. I'll end up doing the same thing for my strawberry plants. I'm having a big beef with these ants that are in it. So these ants and I are gonna have a war on our hands, and I'm gonna win some way or the other. But anyway, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more updates on the garden, as well as the hunting season is right around the corner. Getting things prepared for that. I'm still in the gardening and fishing season, but hey, getting out there, taking it one video at a time. Even if I'm just, you know, I'm doing things at a pace. I would like to upload a video every week, but obviously I'm around these guys' time, not so much as I gotta upload a video and then just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. So if it needs to be done, I'll share it. If not, hey, I'll find something else. But until then, hey guys, hit that like button, subscribe, and if you have any luck with this or have had very good success, I'm not endorsed by this brand or receive any type of compensation for it. So this is actually my first time using it. If you guys have used it and found favor in it, leave a comment. Let's see how it worked for you. And if there's anything other, any other gardening tips, I'm open to it, and I'm pretty sure anyone else on the platform is as well. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay wild.